Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Starring the Jet A. Jerry O'Lace, Rocket J. Squirrel, and his pal, Bullwinkle the Moose.
Hi, glad to see you again.
Likewise.
We got some great things on the show today.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you ought to know, Bullwinkle. You're in some of them.
Well, let's get started.
Well, as long as you're back anyway, I might as well explain what's been going on. We all know that everybody can do something, even Bullwinkle, who proved beyond a doubt that he can remember everything he ever ate.
What did you have for dinner 25 years ago today, Bullwinkle?
Moose milk.
Boy, you really can remember everything you ever ate.
That was too easy, Rock. 25 years ago, I always had moose milk.
You were an addict?
No, a baby.
But Bullwinkle is grown up now, and he must learn to face the facts. And the facts are that Boris Badenov has managed to steal the secret formula to a silent explosive called Hush-a-Boom. Then, disguising himself as a fruit peddler, he wrote the formula on the inside of a banana for safekeeping. But unable to resist making a fast buck, he sold the banana to Bullwinkle, who ate it, formula and all. Ruined to the quick, Boris immediately set out to ruin Bullwinkle.
Any second now, Moose is going to be part of Elm Street.
Bullwinkle's going to get run over by the steamroller. I gotta save him.
And with that, the plucky squirrel shot into the air like a pullet.
That's Bullet.
That's Bullet. Boris not only missed the moose, but was unable to find the brakes to the steamroller.
You all right, Bullwinkle?
Just fine. What happened?
Somebody tried to run over you with a steamroller.
Oh, a squash and run driver, eh? Oh, well. Bye now. Thanks again.
Who's that?
This is a manhole, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a man.
Rocky and Bullwinkle then crossed the street and entered the drugstore where they knew beyond a doubt they could get a soda to calm their nerves. What they didn't know beyond a doubt was that Boris Badenov and his henchwoman Natasha were under the table.
How about a banana split, Bullwinkle?
No thanks, Rock. I ate a banana a little while ago with H2O, NH3, C2H5, PDQ, U235, and a pinch of salt written on it.
Boris, Moose remembers formula.
And so when Rocky and Bullwinkle left the drugstore, Boris was waiting with a fiendish plan to extract the formula from the innocent moose.
Here comes Moose. Let him have it, Natasha.
Hey, what's the big idea of hitting me with a pie?
Say, you sound mad.
Well, that's funny. I am mad.
You can't be mad.
Why?
Look at that lollipop.
What about it?
That's really not a lollipop. That's a camera.
Really?
Sure, you're on television.
No! A camera in a lollipop?
What's the matter? You never hear of candid camera?
Say, then you must be...
Right. Alan Fink. Go on, say something to our audience.
Well, what shall I say?
Just tell us a little about yourself. Like, what was it that you ate about 1 hour ago?
Say, folks, about an hour ago, I ate a banana with H2O, NH3, C2H5, PDQ, U235, and a pinch of salt written on it.
That's it. Come on, Honeybone.
Flushed with success, Boris ran to the nearest telephone and called Fearless Leader.
Hello, Fearless Leader. Grab pencil. I got formula. It's H2O, H2OC. Ooh, I'll call you back. I'm practically liquidated. Who can remember all those numbers?
And so, once again, innocence triumphs over evil. And the secret formula is to remain forever safely hidden in the confines of a moose's stomach, never to be heard from again.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that either. What is in can be taken out.
Is this really the end of Bullwinkle? Be with us next time for Mack the Knife or Operation Moose.
me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Ooh, don't know my own strength.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Once upon a time, many years ago, there was a man who, upon meeting a friend in the streets of the kingdom, said,
Achoo!
and his friend, knowing the proper thing to do, of course, said,
Gesundheit.
At exactly the same time, in a land far to the east, there was another man who also met a friend on the street, and he said,
Achoo!
his friend, too, knew the proper thing to say, for he replied,
Hello, Charlie. How's tricks?
yes, Archu was his name. Archu had many friends. Archu had great wealth because Archu had the only Chinese restaurant in town that served salami pizza. Archu also had a fine son who greeted him one night with a question.
Honorable father, I should like to marry and settle down. May I have your worthy permission?
I must have time to think on such a heavy question. I shall give you my answer in the morning.
Archu was unable to sleep that night. He tossed and turned in his bed, fighting to make the decision. By sunup the following day, he had made up his mind and gave the answer to his son.
No.
My father wise as boiled owl, but can he give one reason why I cannot marry?
Yes.
And that all being?
To have a wife, one must have a house in which to put her.
Then, inexhaustible son, we'll find a house.
Wasting no time, the young man set off to do just that. He had not gone far when he came to a great river, and there, standing on the bank, he met an old man.
I must cross this river, young youth. Help me, and I shall tell you a secret of good fortune.
Knowing that a secret of good fortune could very well aid him in his quest, the lad agreed. But it was a rougher trip than what the aged one had expected. However, he kept his promise and told the young man the secret.
Yes. Oh, honorable, hooray! What a fine secret.
Following the old man's instructions, the boy hurried off into the forest, where he soon found a grove of lychee nut trees. Picking up one of the lychee nuts that had fallen to the ground, he cracked it open. And with a blinding flash, a fine house popped out. A short time later, he once again stood before his father.
No?
No.
What excuse being this time? Excitable son has a fine house.
Yes, but there is still one thing you need before you can marry.
$1 to chicken fly lice, he say, a sweetie.
That thing is sweetie.
You see? Honorable father, wait right here. Swift son, be right back.
Quickly returning to the grove of lychee nut trees, he selected the largest lychee nut he could find. Then, with a sharp rap, he cracked it open. And out popped the most beautiful maiden he'd ever seen.
Oh, hot diggy dog, that being a sweetie if ever I see one.
This time, R2 found no further objections and at last gave permission for his son to marry. The wedding was held and there was a great celebration. R2's son was now the happiest young man in the land, but it wasn't until after the wedding that he realized that his new wife seemed different somehow. For the first thing she did when he took her to his house was jump into a corner and stand on her head.
Big honorable pardon, but why is a former sweetie, present wife, a stand on head?
And she answered,
Why not?
unable to think of a good reason, he let it go. It was some time later that the young man, while returning from the marketplace with his purse jingling with coins, met a robber. Oh, he knew it was a robber because the rogue wore a mask and very clearly said,
Stick-em-up.
Fearing for his life, the lad streaked for home with the robber in hot pursuit. Dashing into the house, he quickly told his wife,
Dishonorable bad guy after me. Oh, please, do not tell him. Frightened husband is hiding with money in cookie jar.
Go away, please. I cannot tell you that frightened husband is hiding with money in cookie jar.
Oh!
A short time later, the robber and the money were gone. His wife was again standing on her head in the corner, but he didn't bother to ask her why. Instead, he said,
It's very cold. I wish to warm myself. Please, cookie wife, start a fire.
She did. It was in the bedroom, and the house was burned to the ground. This was more than the boy could stand.
If I live to be 22, never again will I get a sweetie out of a lychee nut.
It was then that his wife did the strangest thing of all. She began to bake fortune cookies over a small open fire. What was so strange about it was that when he broke them open, there were real fortunes inside.
Oh, diamonds, rubies, gold, 1928 nickels, Wilkie buttons. I'm rich.
Yes, he was rich. And the more fortune cookies his wife baked, the richer he became. Of course, his wife still stood on her head from time to time, but the boy loved her, and he called her his bargain because she was 50% off. And they lived happily ever after.
Private Bullwinkle, sir, with a message.
Just in time.
Is it important?
Is it? Just look.
Hello, poetry pals. I'm wearing this Old Mother Hubbard because today's poem is Old Mother Hubbard. Pretty slick, huh? Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone. But when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor dog got none.
Hold it. You mean after 5 years of watchdog and I don't get a bone?
That's what the poem says.
That does it. I'm going on strike.
On strike?
I'll pull out every pooch from Pottsville or Paducah. Mother Hubbard unfair to canines.
But...
She's anti-dog.
No, I'm Mother Hubbard.
Unfair.
Now, wait. I don't have a bone, but will something else do?
Like such as what?
So she went to the bread box to get him some bread, but as soon as he saw it...
You kidding, he said?
So she went to the icebox and hauled out a steak. And as soon as he saw it, he started to shake.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
That's okay, huh?
Well, it's not a bone, mind you.
Well, then...
It'll do. Now, here's your new watchdogging contract.
How come it's all tattered on the edge?
That? Those are the fringe benefits.
Drink up your milk, Chairman.
I can't, Mr. Peabody. I'm racing my push cart in an hour.
Well, what has that got to do with milk?
Well, I don't like to drink when I drive.
I'll tell you what, you drink your milk and I'll give you an experience in driving.
It's a deal.
I wiped off Sherman's mustache and then set the way back in roads for the state of Indiana in the year 1910.
Who are we going to meet, Mr. Peabody?
The man who won the first Indianapolis auto race, Barnaby Victor. We entered the way back and arrived at the speedway as the race was about to get underway. Two ancient vehicles stood idling at the starting line.
Which car belongs to Barnaby Victor, Mr. Peabody?
The one without wheels, Sherman.
Mr. Victor, don't you know your car hasn't got wheels?
That's all right, Sonny. It doesn't have any gas either.
And sure enough, his machine fell silent.
How do you expect to win the race?
I don't. Not with carbon dioxide running against me.
Carbon dioxide was Spain's most famous racer, a man who would stop at nothing to win a race.
Buenos dias, senor loser.
Golly, Mr. Peabody, you said Barnaby Victor would win this race.
And so he shall, Sherman. We must put tires on the car and refill the gas tank.
But there's no time. The starter's ready to wave the flag.
Well, I took care of that by switching flags. Instead of the usual one, he waved a flag bearing the words, "Hooray for Cornwallis." The police arrested him as a radical, and the track sent out for another starter. Even though the delay was slight, it enabled us to complete our tasks.
All set to go, Mr. Victor.
He was all set to go, all right, but in the wrong direction. You go that way, Barnaby.
Are you sure?
Trust me, won't you? The flag was dropped, and the two cars sped off on the first of 500 laps. Barnaby Victor opened up an early lead, one that lasted exactly one lap.
He's coming into the pit, Mr. Peabody.
Forget something, Barnaby?
Sure did. I forgot the ignition key. I had it a minute ago.
You mean the key that starts the car?
That's the one.
But, Mr. Victor, you started your car. It's running now.
Is that the key in the ignition hole there?
Oh, yeah, there it is. Thanks for finding it for me.
You sure he's gonna win, Mr. Peabody?
Instead of answering, I focused a pair of field glasses on the track. Carbon dioxide had not only gone into the lead, he was making preparations not to lose it.
What's carbon dioxide up to now?
He pulled his car to a stop and painted a view of the Grand Canyon on a retaining wall on the far turn, and then he took off.
He must be crazy.
Like a fox. When Barnaby Victor saw the picture of the Grand Canyon, he thought he was at a drive-in movie and shut his motor off.
Oh, he'll lose for sure now.
No, he won't. I grabbed a bucket of paint, dashed through the wall, and splashed it against it. In black letters came the words, "The End." Barnaby assumed the show was over and resumed racing. Soon he had not only caught up, but was out in front.
Now if he can only hold the lead.
But he didn't. Dioxide turned on a siren, put on a policeman's uniform, and forced Barnaby to stop. He then gave him a ticket for speeding. By the time we got there, Dioxide had resumed racing.
Get going, Mr. Victor.
Can't, Sonny.
Why not?
That officer took my license away.
There was no time to argue. The race was almost over. Quick, Sherman, pretend you're feeling faint.
Huh?
A fainting spell. Have one.
Oh, I feel dizzy.
Quick, we must get this poor boy to a hospital.
But I don't have a license.
You don't need one. We got into the car and roared off.
Which way to the hospital?
Just keep going. I'll tell you when to stop. Even with his foot down to the floorboards, Victor's car was not gaining on Dioxide. It was then I noticed the speedometer only went as high as 50. So I simply broke the glass and pushed the needle. Naturally, the car went faster. As we went into the last lap, we forged ahead.
Mr. Peabody, our gas tank, it reads empty.
And that wasn't our only concern. Carbon Dioxide had lit a stick of TNT and threw it into our auto.
Put it out, Mr. Peabody.
Ah, but instead of doing so, I let it fly in back of us. The explosion occurred just as we ran completely out of gas, but the shock wave picked us up and thrust us across the finish line, victorious. Barnaby Victor had won the race, and Carbon Dioxide was banned from racing.
Did Mr. Victor ever race again?
No, Sherman. As soon as he crossed the finish line, he headed for a gold mine he owned in the hills and was never seen again.
How come?
Well, look, Sherman, the road only goes one way.
And he never came out of that hole in the ground?
That's right. Sherman, you are now looking at a one-track mine.
Seven out of 10 doctors agree that stomach trouble is both universal and profitable. But
Bullwinkle, what are those little A's and B's?
The A stands for apple.
And the B?
Stands for banana. I ate one on St. Swithin's Day.
When?
St. Swithin's Day, 1943.
Wow.
yes, Bullwinkle has the rather unique ability to remember everything he eats. The trouble is that Bullwinkle ate a banana on which Boris Badenov had written a secret formula.
I will get formula back even if it kills Moose.
Oh, I am so happy you see things my way, darling.
Let's go.
Boris, wait. On the corner.
Wait on the corner for what?
He's a policeman. How do we get past him?
Phooey. Who's scared of policemen?
And folding his switchblade knife and putting it in his hat, the smug Boris walked right up to the policeman and said,
Officer, would you hold my hand across the street?
Certainly, little fella. Say, that's quite a mustache you got there.
My mommy drew it for me, didn't you, mommy?
That's right, darling.
Well, give me your hand, little lad.
Take my hand. I'm a stranger in Steubenville.
And the unsuspecting policeman led Boris and Natasha right across the street.
There you are, me bucko.
And the kindly policeman patted Boris on the head. Unfortunately for the villain, his switchblade knife had a hair trigger and...
Sainted Aunt Agnes McGee, what's that?
It's a fingernail file.
A 12-inch nail file?
I got 12-inch fingernails.
Come along with me, you're under arrest.
As a spy?
No.
As a crook?
No.
As a killer?
No.
What then?
As a juvenile delinquent.
And so Boris Badenov, scourge of civilization, was taken to juvenile hall, given a hot bath, dressed in sleepers, and tucked in for the night. Next day he appeared in court, was lectured by the judge, and his switchblade taken away. Then he was released in Natasha's custody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, Natasha, the disgrace. Me, world's greatest villain, a juvenile delinquent. What will fearless leader say?
Oh, cheer up, sonny, you.
Don't call me Sonny.
Boris Badenov, calling Boris Badenov.
There he is now. Fearless leader. Hello, fearless leader, old body boy.
You got secret formula yet, Badenov?
Not yet, but any minute now. You know me.
That's why I keep checking up. Well, your time is running out. Goodbye, Sonny.
Oh, boy.
Well, of course, now Boris knew he had to get Bullwinkle off to some deserted spot where the police wouldn't see him.
Okay, here is what we do. Boga, roga, poga, doga, boga, roga, boga, boga.
I can't understand a word you say, Boris. Speak up.
Ooh, I said boga roga poga doga boga roga boga doga.
That's what I thought you said.
You think I'm gonna let every Tom, Dick, and Gordon in on the plot?
Apparently not, for just a short time later, a familiar-looking figure pedaled a bicycle up to our heroes and said,
Telegram for Moose, telegram for Bullwinkle.
Here, boy.
Sign here.
Okay.
You're supposed to sign name. That's an X.
It's my middle initial.
Oh.
And here's a nickel for your trouble.
Nickel? Couldn't you make it a dime? I got 2 wives and baby goldfish to support.
Make it 7 cents.
Okay, I give up 1 wife. Cheapskates.
What does the telegram say, Bullwinkle?
Oh, boy, get a load of this. Congratulations, you have been chosen to spend a free weekend at Lake Itchy Lodge. Signed, the management. Isn't that nice?
Well, no. For if Bullwinkle had only known, anybody who spent a weekend at Lake Itchy Lodge stayed there permanently. But we'll find out more in our next episode, 2 Days to Doom, or The Last Weekend.
Well, I guess that about wraps up another Rocky show.
Certainly hope you enjoyed it. I did. I always say...
Bullwinkle, time for us to go.
Already? Okay, but first, here are some of the people who made this show impossible. Get tired. Oop! Got away from me again.
Well, see you next time. Ready, Bullwinkle? Alley!
Oop!